Are you ready for chapter 5 of Sam Wu is Not Afraid of Spiders by Kevin and Katie Tsang? Now I'm excited to read chapter 5 because it's called The Great Escape, and I wonder who might be escaping. After lunch, we all wrote down our questions about spiders, specifically about Tulip. Miss Winkleworth said she'd never seen us so focused. We had a lot of questions. Now, she said, when we'd all handed in our questions, who would like to go and deliver these to Mr. Dougal for me? Regina's hand shot up in the air, and then before I had a chance to protest, she'd grabbed mine and raised it too. I looked at Regina in horror, but I didn't want anyone to know that I secretly never wanted to see Tulip ever again, so I didn't say anything. She grinned at me. "You're the bravest person I know," she said solemnly. "I know you won't be scared to see Tulip again, right?" I gulped. "Right," I said. "Great, thank you, Regina and Sam," Miss Winkleworth said. "The two of you can go, but come straight back, all right?" I blinked. It looked like I didn't have a choice, but I wasn't just going to go as a two-person team. We needed backup. I looked at Bernard and tried to wink. Sometimes on Space Blasters, the alien five-eyed Frank will wink at Spaceman Jack or Captain Jane to let them know that he has the situation under control. This was the opposite of that. I did not have the situation under control at all, but I was hoping that Bernard would understand what I wanted. "What's in your eye, Sam?" Regina said, frowning at me. I'm not very good at winking. "Nothing," I said. Then I cleared my throat and coughed, the way that grown-ups do when they're trying to get someone's attention. "Are you okay, Sam?" said Miss Winkleworth, looking concerned. "I'm fine," I said, still staring hard at Bernard. "Oh," said Bernard. He finally got it. "Can I go too, Miss Winkleworth? I'd really like to see Tulip again." Then Bernard kicked Zoe in the ankle. "Ow!" yelled Zoe, scowling at Bernard before she realised what he'd been doing. Yeah, me too, Miss Winkleworth," she said. "I know the way to the 6th grade science lab." Miss Winkleworth rubbed between her eyes and sighed. "I don't think this is a 4-person job," she said. "At this rate, the whole class will want to go." "I don't," Ralph said loudly from the back of the classroom. "Who wants to run errands? I'm not a mailman." His friends around him all laughed. "Is that right, Ralph Zinkerman?" Miss Winkleworth replied, with an arched eyebrow and a stern look that was maybe even scarier than Tulip's 8-eyed one. Ralph sank down in his seat. Miss Winkleworth swung her gaze round on us. "Off the 4 of you go, but just hurry back." I still wasn't especially eager to go anywhere near Tulip, but I felt better now that I had my friends with me as we all scrabbled up from our desks. It was just like when Spaceman Jack from Space Blasters said he can do anything when he's got his crew with him. It felt strange in the empty halls while everyone else was in class. "This is so exciting," said Regina, skipping down the hall ahead of us. "I can run as fast as I want down the hall and nobody can stop me," said Zoe, and then she did exactly that. "Wait for us," cried Bernard, huffing as he ran to catch up with the girls. I was the one carrying the envelope full of questions, so I didn't run in case I dropped it and the slips of paper flew everywhere. Then we'd really be in trouble. I'd never been to the side of the school where the 6th grade classrooms were, but Zoe knew the way because she had 2 older brothers and an older sister who had showed her all over the school. She even knew how to get around the high school thanks to her big sister Mallory. "The science lab is right around this corner," said Zoe, and we followed her to a blue door that was slightly ajar. There was a lot of noise coming from inside the lab. People were shouting and running, and it sounded like the tables and chairs were being pushed around. The 4 of us paused and looked at each other. "6th grade science sounds pretty exciting," said Regina. Just then, the door burst open, nearly hitting us all in the faces. We jumped back. A red-cheeked 6th grade boy ran out, panting. He slammed the door behind him. "Tulip's on the loose!" he shouted. "Did you see where she went?" "Bobby, get back in here," yelled a voice from inside. "We don't want to cause a panic." If you ask me, this seemed like the perfect time to panic, but I just stared open-mouthed at red-faced Bobby. "We've brought some questions for Mr. Dougal," Regina tried. "Is everything okay?" "What do you mean Tulip is on the loose?" Zoe cut in, asking the question we were all thinking. "What do you think it means?" said Bobby. "It means Tulip, who is a tarantula, by the way. Sorry, I don't know if I made that part clear, has made her great escape." "Bobby, who are you talking to? I told you we've got everything under control," said the same voice from inside the classroom. Then the door opened and Mr. Dougal slipped out into the corridor. "Get back inside the classroom, Bobby." Bobby scurried back inside as Mr. Dougal turned to face us. He did not look like he had everything under control. His hair was sticking up in every direction, his tie was undone, and he was sweating like he'd just run a race. "Oh, hello there," he said when he saw us. He tried to smile, but it turned into a sort of grimace. I forgot that you'd be coming by this afternoon. Do you have the questions?" He took the envelope out of my hands. "Wow, that is a lot. It might take me a while to answer all of these, especially as I'm a bit busy at the moment. Now hurry back to your class. Nothing to see here, nothing at all," he added as he shepherded us away from the door. As he did, I got a glimpse inside the classroom. Some kids were crawling on their hands and knees, looking under desks and bookshelves. Others were standing on their chairs, like the floor was made of lava. "Sir," said Regina carefully, "has Tulip escaped?" Mr. Dougal ran his hand through his hair, making it stick up even more. No, I wouldn't say escaped. We've just misplaced her. That's it, she's misplaced. I'm sure she's just hiding somewhere in the classroom." I thought of how the door had been a bit open when we'd arrived, and I knew there was a very good chance that Tulip was not inside the classroom. "Well, nothing to worry about. Hurry back now," said Mr. Dougal, smiling slightly manically. And then he disappeared back into the science lab with the envelope. We all looked at each other. "I don't think Mr. Dougal is going to find Tulip," Regina said slowly. "He didn't really seem like he knew what he was doing." She looked up at us. "I think we might have to step in." I knew then that Regina was right. It was up to us. After all, we were already ghost hunters, snake wranglers, shark evaders and explorers of the dark. Who else in the school had that kind of experience? We were the only ones prepared to be spider catchers. It wasn't going to be easy. But as Spaceman Jack says, if it was easy, everyone would do it. It's the hard things in life that require the most bravery. And maybe this would be the way I could prove once and for all to Ralph and to everyone else that I was not a scaredy cat. I looked solemnly around at my crew. You're right. It's up to us to find Tulip. We need a plan. The end. I wonder what plan they're going to think of. What would you do if you needed to catch a giant spider? How would you plan to get it?